Do you ever get to the end of your day and realize you haven't stopped once to just breathe? Today, we're talking about the simple tool that changed how I lead, how I parent, and honestly, how I show up for life. Hey friend, I'm Jessica, and this is With My Whole Heart. I'm a real-life woman juggling a lot of real-life things, raising girls, running a hair salon, chasing big dreams, and doing my best to stay grounded through it all. If you've ever found yourself in the thick of it, somewhere between who you've been and who you're becoming, this space is for you. Here, we talk about the middle, the messy, meaningful, beautiful middle. The big leaps, the small wins, the hard lessons, and the heart-led pivots. From business and beauty to faith, motherhood, and everything in between, nothing's off limits. So grab your coffee or your tea, get cozy, and let's dive in. Because this journey, we're walking it together with our whole hearts. Okay, let's be honest. How many times do we move from one thing to the next without even taking a breath? The day ends, and before you know it, you're already in tomorrow, planning, fixing, doing. For so long, that was me. I was constantly on to the next guest, the next project, the next problem to solve. But what I didn't realize was that skipping the pause was costing me peace. It was costing me clarity. And honestly, it was costing me growth. That's where the tool of debriefing came in, and it completely changed not only the way I lead at Hustle and Heart, but how I move through life in general. When I first learned about the debriefing tool, I thought, okay, great, another business structure tool. Little did I know this small practice would completely shift the way I live my life, the way I lead, and the way I hold myself accountable within my own growth. Because the truth is, debriefing isn't just about reviewing what happened, it's about creating awareness. It's about pausing long enough to understand not just what worked or didn't, but why. And that's where the transformation happens. I learned the specific model from my coach Kimberly at the SSI Agency, and the framework we use at the salon is simple but powerful. It goes like this. You first start out with the summary of the day. What didn't work? What worked? What to change, what to duplicate, and finally, how to celebrate. It sounds simple, but when you start using this rhythm daily, it changes everything. And here's the thing. I don't care what your title is, this practice is for everyone. If you're a salon manager or a leader trying to create better communication and growth on your team, this is for you. If you're a stylist who doesn't manage anyone but wants to grow in self-awareness and accountability, this is for you too. If you don't even do hair, but you're a stay-at-home mom juggling all the things, this is especially for you. Because at the end of the day, debriefing is really about learning to pause long enough to see the lesson in the moment, to shift from reacting to reflecting, and that's something every one of us can use, no matter where we are or what season we're in. At first, I thought this was something I'd only use in leadership or business. But the truth is, I use it everywhere. You can debrief a conversation with your spouse. You can debrief a parenting moment, how you disciplined your child, or even how you handled a tough emotion in the moment. You can debrief your day, your morning routine, even how you showed up for yourself that week. It's this constant posture of reflection that helps you stop reacting and start responding with more intention. It's not about beating yourself up for what you didn't do right. It's about noticing it and then doing better next time with grace. One of the biggest places this has transformed my leadership is in working with new hairstylists. Because let's be real, when you're teaching and training, things are going to go wrong. Mistakes are going to happen. Formulas don't lift right, timing gets missed, a guest's toner pulls darker than planned. And as a leader, those moments used to make me tense up. I'd go into fix-it mode or start mentally planning how to approach the conversation because no one really loves having those hard talks, right? But when we started implementing debriefing as part of our training days, it changed the game. Now, at the end of every shift, I'll sit down with our assistant or new stylist and simply ask them to walk through the debrief. So what happened today? What worked? What didn't? What you do differently next time? And the beautiful thing is, 9 times out of 10, they bring up the exact thing I was going to address, which takes all the pressure off. It turns what could have been a hard conversation into a growth conversation. And as a leader, it shifts you from critic to coach. It gives them ownership of their learning, and it gives you, as the mentor, the space to affirm, guide, and celebrate. So let's actually walk through what this can look like. Because sometimes hearing the structure is one thing, but seeing it play out in real life is what makes it stick. So I want to give you an example. So the summary of the day would kind of look like this. Today I woke up, I hit snooze 3 times before I actually got out of bed. That meant I had to rush to get ready, which meant cutting down my makeup routine just to make sure my kids got to school on time. One of my kids was giving me a little extra attitude, which threw me into a bit of a sour mood. I got to work, realized I left my hot tea in the microwave, so I'm already lacking caffeine. And in the hustle and bustle of the morning, I grabbed a yogurt for lunch, and that was it. But I had an amazing client today. We did a beautiful color and full new install, and she was over the moon excited. She even purchased all the products she needed to protect her investment at home. I cleaned up my station, wrapped up a great day, and now I'm about to head home. So that's the summary of the day. Just the facts, no judgment, no emotion, just what happened. What didn't work? Well, hitting snooze 3 times, that threw off my whole morning, which made me feel rushed. Then my daughter felt rushed, which led her into a bad attitude, which kind of spiraled into some negativity early on. What worked? The new install on my guest was perfection. The color formula was stunning. It was something new I tried, and I love it. What to change? Meal prep ahead of time so I'm not surviving on yogurt. And wake up when my alarm actually goes off so I can start the day fresh instead of frazzled. What to duplicate? That color formula. I'll be using that same application again because it worked beautifully. And then how to celebrate. Okay, and now this part, it's time to celebrate. For me, that might look like a long walk on the lake walk, listening to music or a podcast, or maybe it's going home, taking a hot bath, and giving myself permission to let the dishes wait. Celebration doesn't have to be big, it just has to honor your effort. And that's really the heartbeat of this whole process, because reflection without celebration can start to feel heavy. Celebrating, even in the small ways, reminds your nervous system that it's safe to slow down. It tells your mind, hey, we did good today. And it rewires your habits around gratitude instead of perfectionism. It's what turns discipline into joy. So if you're listening to this and you've been in constant go mode, whether that's in your career, your parenting, your marriage, or your personal growth, I want to challenge you to pause and try this. Tonight or after your next big day, debrief and ask yourself, what didn't work? What worked? What will I change? What will I duplicate? And how can I celebrate? Because when you start living from a place of reflection instead of reaction, everything changes. You lead differently, you love differently, and you start showing up more grounded, more intentional, and more wholeheartedly you. All right, friend, if you take one thing from today's episode, let it be this. The pause matters. Your reflection time matters. Because when you start debriefing, you stop reacting and start leading with intention. I hope you try this rhythm in your own life. You'll be amazed at the peace that it brings. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Your time is valuable, and I'm honored you spent it here. I hope something in this conversation met you right where you are. If it stirred something in your spirit or spoke to your heart, I'd truly love to hear about it. My DMs are always open. I love connecting with you. And as you go, just remember, you're not walking through this life alone. Until next time, stay grounded, keep showing up, and keep leaning into the purpose that's been placed on your heart. I'll be right here, cheering you on with my whole heart.